Welcome to the channel, and in this video we're going to be reviewing and installing the FTI TH400 transmission case shield. So I'll show you guys some things, some tips and tricks that I've done to my install, and some things I ran into and how I got around those. So let's go over here to the table and take a look at it. So as you know, I'm not big on unboxing, but here it is out of the box. You've got the shield itself, the two brackets that go underneath the transmission pan, the pan mount brackets, the bolts to mount it to the pan, and then the bolts that go through the mount locations themselves. Now, I'm going to try to explain this to where it'll make sense to you. This kit comes with these 4 5/16 18 thread by 1 inch. Comes with 4 of those. You've got 13 pan bolts. So this Summit aluminum pan that I purchased and installed came with 13 by 1 inch long, but they're 5/16 by 18 thread by 1 inch, and they are, as you can see, they're 12.5/16 thread. So what I did, I went to the hardware store and I bought 5 more 1 inch long bolts, and I bought 4 1 1/4 inch bolts, because what's going to happen is when I get my shifter for the cable shift, the bracket that holds that, plus this bracket, it's going to take away from some of my threads that make it up into the case. So I went with an 1 1/4 inch long 5/16 18 thread bolt here. So you need 4 of those. So you get 4, 2 for each side for these brackets, and then you buy an additional 5, and that'll give you all of your pan bolts. And I've already installed all of those 1 inch bolts all the way around except for where my case shield bolts are. The other benefit to these bolts, one thing that's perfect is if you can see that pan has a recess, and these heads of these Allen bolts fit in that recess. And secondly, at some point I'm going to be servicing this transmission. I'm going to be changing the fluid and the filter, and I don't want to be under the truck searching for a 5/16 12-point socket and a 1/4 inch Allen head. I want to use the same wrench. I don't want to have 15 tools to try to take this pan off. So that's what I did. So also, one thing I want to show you guys is if you have a steel pan, you're going to have to get some spacers, and I've got the spacers laying over here. This actually come out of my B&M shifter kit, and I'll show you guys that in a second. So when you put these spacers on here, this will fit, and it gets it out over the edge of the lip of the pan. So if you don't have the same shifter or the same shifter bracket, you'll have to put some washers in here to space this up so that it doesn't get in. If I take these off, I'll show you. I wanted to show you guys that might be using a regular steel pan. If you put this on here, it's not going to line up. You can see it hits the lip here, so you'll have to get it up level. So just wanted to show you guys that had a steel pan how that was going to work. Also, I am using it's the B&M Magnum Grip Pro Stick. It has the 2 buttons on it, and the bracket that I'm going to use for my shifter bracket, I went ahead and pulled it out of the box because I wanted to install it when I have my bolts out here on my pan. But as you can see, you remove these 2 pieces, and I'll show you the instructions that say to do that. Now that is for an aluminum pan only. You'll cut that ear off here, and the bolt hole right here, you'll cut that off. But on a steel pan, it does give you the spacers that I just showed you for this bracket, and it'll work well with this case saver as well. I hope that answers some questions. That's some of the questions I had, but I just wanted to show you guys. Now this is a SFI rated case shield, and that's the SEMA Foundation Incorporated, the aftermarket automotive group that says that this is okay for racing. You know, typically it's 5 years on the safety rating, and then it has to be recertified. My bell housing is SFI rated as well, if you watched some of the other videos. So I'll quit talking about that, and we'll put this transmission case shield on. One of the things I ran into, I was installing it and I wasn't going to make a video, and I started running into these little things, and I thought it might help somebody out. But the case connector on the Turbo 400, this spade right here for your second or your kick down, or if you're running a trans brake, sticks out, and this case shield will contact that. So basically what I did, I just took a pair of, you probably use regular needle nose, I just took a pair of flat pliers and bent that over where I can still get my connector on here without any interference with the case shield. So I'm not going to time lapse. I'm just going to put this thing on, and then I'm going to bring you back around. We'll put the shifter cable bracket on and show you how it fits. And hopefully if some of you guys are using this same type of setup, it gives you an idea of what to look for. And if it's something you want to order, maybe this answered some questions about it. So let me get the case shield on, and we'll take a walk around and show you the fitment, and we'll end out the video. One more thing before I let you go. There is a modification that you will have to make to the bracket that goes on the driver's side. If you can see, that little bow that I took a flat disc sander and I sanded that out. That's because if you use this particular Summit brand transmission pan, you can see this notch right here, or this raised out portion. And what it's going to do, this is going to fit in there like that. If you don't, your bolt holes will not be lined up here. And this is an exaggeration, but it'll be kicked out like this. So you'll have to take just a little off of it so it'll fit up against your pan. And the other side is fine. The passenger side bracket, it lines up okay. So I just want to make sure that you see that, and you'll know that if you decide to order this particular part. So let me get it installed, and again, we'll take a tour and end out the video. Okay, here it is installed. Let's take a tour and look at all the fitment close-ups. So it is very, very close. I am going to have to go back and trim this ear just a little more here. These brackets down here are very tough to get lined up and on, or they were for me. But overall, it fits really well. And there's the shifter cable installed. If you're using GM, they recommend the F hole right here. So that's how your cable installs. Going around the back. The only issue that I see is, if you can see down in there, get my light down in there, it is touching. So I may take this off and tweak these brackets a little bit, bend them out just a little, just to keep it from rubbing right there. But everywhere else, it appears that it is very good. I'm trying to get my camera up in there. Very tight, hugs close to the transmission. So if you're looking for something like this, you can see how it's going to fit, and maybe give you an idea on how it's going to fit your application. I will have to take these back off anyway, these bottom brackets. So when I put it on my transmission jack to put it in the truck, I'm not going to set it on those in fear of bending them. But with all that, that is how the FTI shield, transmission case shield, fits. Again, as always, this will be in the link in the description. Next video, we're going to go through some stuff on the shifter. We're going to get it ready to install. But that's going to end out the video, guys. Thanks for stopping in. As always, hit that like button, comment if you like what you see here. Tell me what you think. And hit that subscribe button before you leave. And we'll catch you in the next episode.